because there was no work. Opa arrived in
60.
and I came in 61.
And I came in 59 in June. In June 1959.
Oh, I came then I came in 60.
You came in 60, and I came in 59.
Oh, we got married in 60. No, Canada was far enough.
I had Australia in mind, but then
No,
Canada was better.
I wouldn't have come and stayed there. To find a job, you had to go around and find a job, and the English aren't all that great.
Times were bad, and
Times were bad, yeah.
lots of unemployment in Canada.
And I got work as a seamstress in the hospital, St. Joe's Hospital.
The long cold winters, we weren't used to that. You know, with perseverance.
With perseverance, we tackled everything we could get,
Get,
and we prayed. I was in the digging ditches for the Germans, Opa Rusink, and they got bombarded on their way home. And his neighbor got killed, and
our neighbor was killed with a bombardment.
And a couple other people.
A couple other people, yeah. So that kind of...
He got his knee full of
And
shrapnel.
my dad got his knee full of
Shrapnel.
shrapnel from the attack from the... Yeah. So those things, they were really... Yeah, they were stand-up. And a big airplane came down. American airplane, the Flying Fortress, they called it. It was burning, it was early in the morning. It was shot down, and with 7 pilots, seven people in it. They were all dead. I remember that vividly. It was something.
My mother was always pretty daring. And I remember vividly that it came for milk. My dad had a dairy farm, and they came to pick up the milk for the soldiers. And my mom and they had to go to get some containers first on the end of the driveway. And my mom got the cans, and she put some away, and then she put water in with the milk, you know, and they took them, and he never noticed.
Yeah.
And we had an SSer in the house by himself, and then we had also soldiers. But he never communicated with each other, but he always stayed up late, and he told my mom and dad how far they were, and if the soldiers had to go to the front, and he warned them all the time that that my mom had to keep the kids away from the soldiers, because then they were always a bit edgy. Yeah, those things I really remember clearly. I was 5 when the war started, and 10 when it was over. And there's some things that you never forget. I was in a plane. I had a choice to go by boat or by plane. That was one of the first planes when the plane started going here. And I chose the plane because I was sure that I would be sick for 10 days on the boat. So I chose plane. And we had a nice bunch of immigrants there. A couple of young guys and a couple of girls. And it was really nice, yeah. And the one ended up here in town, but I don't know what his name was anymore. So, but then he could have been moved to.
Yeah.
And we were on the boat.
Yeah, the boat. And one day was very stormy, so the guy said, the steward said, tomorrow we're all going to be sick. And I made a bet with him that I wouldn't get sick. And he says, well, it was for a case of beer, which, 6-pack. And then later on, he found out that I was with the Dutch Navy before. So I said, that wasn't fair. I said, well, you didn't ask for that. So he lost that bet. I never forget that. That was interesting. But most people were sick that day. Nobody showed up for food anymore. But we couldn't get on the deck. That ship was really going back and forth. And it was pretty rough. That old ship, I think, boy oh boy, that could collapse too, And one other thing, we were kids sometimes, and we would fly kites, you know. But then the Germans came, and then the planes they were flying so low to avoid the British and American planes. They were flying so low, so we had to take our kites down. The soldiers came in and told us that we couldn't fly kites.